Hi everyone, it's Lillian here from Stamper's Niche, and yes, I am doing things differently today. I've got a new phone stand and this is my maiden voyage, so who knows what will happen. We will give it a try. I have yet to figure out how to turn you down to see my projects without creating a little bit of seasickness, but I know there's an app for that, and that's my next thing to do. So I'm just about to turn you down and we will look at the projects. So let's go this way here. And hey, well, we're down. We've got it that far. All right. So I don't know about you, but I enjoyed at least some of the nice weather we had this weekend. It was gorgeous out there, especially on Saturday. A little windy, but what can we say about that other than, yeah, it's windy. And today the wind is still back. So we'll see. Goodness, I don't know what's happening here, but we will figure that out. All right. First things, I've got so many things to share with you, and this is really just off the cuff because I was working on some projects last night and I thought, oh, I might as well just share this. First off, the new catalog goes live on Wednesday. So today and tomorrow, last days for being able to order from the old catalog. Just a few things about the new catalog. There are over 300 new products. So if you go through and look for the little N symbol, it's in a little red blurb. I can't show the inside yet. There are over 400 full color samples, and I'm going to come back and talk to you about that later. 5 new colors, 22 new die bundles, 6 new punch bundles, new ribbons, new embellishments, new papers, new kits, and 2 new stamping, cut, and emboss machines. Now these aren't available yet, but they will be soon. So just keep watch to be posted for that. Secondly, I often get comments about the tabs on my catalogs. I just make them. I type out the headings and I use the circle tab punch right there to fasten it in. You could use a circle, fold it in half, whatever. If you would like to have a copy of just the words that I used, drop me a message or leave me a comment that you would like a copy and I will send it to you. All right, let's get rid of that. Put it to the side. Secondly, if you want to shop from me, you just go to this right here, and the current hostess code is this one right here. And if you use that, and any orders under $200, that's just great. Another little bit, Stamping Staycation. Every time you share one of my posts, your name gets entered for this. I know that many of you have already registered for it, and if your name should get pulled, you get a reimbursement. It's June 13th, but remember, it's a Facebook event, so even if you're busy on busy on the 13th, you can watch it at any time. And it's designed so that you watch the presentations, then we will download the presentation plus the PDF. That's the instruction sheet, and then you can make it at your leisure using your products. So I took part in one of these a while back and I just loved it because then I could make it at my own speed. I watched the presentation first, got the feel for it, gathered what I wanted to do. It worked out great. It was totally exciting and excited to do that with you. Also, tomorrow is the last day if you want in on my designer series paper share or the new in color share. So I've explained this a couple of times. If you're still uncertain about it, please again message me and we will answer your questions. Okay, last night after the grandchildren and my daughter and her family left, I did a little playing with new product, and I came up with this card right here. Now, I don't know if you can see, I'll bring it up a little bit. It's got this wonderful embossing folder, this wonderful, I love this designer paper, some of the brass in the background, some new ribbon here, a new little slider, and it all goes together. And this actually, I didn't copy from anybody. It was my own design, which is unusual. And then I have a little bit back there. How did I go about designing this? Well, for this particular one, I sort of had an idea in my head, partly because when I decided I wanted to use this designer paper, and I took the package out. I'd already been into it before, and there was just a piece that was this wide, and one thing led to another, and my brain started going. So what I do, so that I don't wreck good paper, I have a stack of old copy paper, you know, that I don't need anymore. And I do my design work on this first. So I knew that I wanted the card to open this way. So I cut a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of paper, folded it in half, so I have my card base. Let me just bring in this so you can see, because it's white on white. Then I took some more paper, and I thought, well, if I layer one layer on top, because I was trying to decide if I wanted a layer on top or if I didn't. And then I could do this, and then I could do this. And I played around. Now you'll notice this piece is actually longer than this piece. I originally had decided, do I want to go on here? And that's why I had it like that. But I decided I did want to bring in another layer, and so then I just trimmed these off. Then I measure these, and then it's safer for me to then start to design the card, because I'm not going to waste some of this gorgeous paper. And that's how that came together. So the paper that I'm using, I've shown it to you before, but I'll just give you, it's called World of Good, and it's a specialty designer paper. So it has brass and gold running through it. It is absolutely spectacular. That's all I can say. Great for masculine cards, travel cards, vintage cards, all that kind of thing. The coordinating cardstock colors are basic black, the brass, which is new this year, bumblebee, new, cinnamon cider, new, crumb cake, early espresso, misty moonlight. I got these in the wrong order. I was trying to do it in alphabetical. Mossy meadow and whisper white. So tons of fun things to do with this. So that was the first card that I designed last night, and that idea it's a basic card design, and it actually did just come from my head. Yes, I know. Secondly, then I decided I wanted a card, and this time I chose one from the catalog. I get a lot of my ideas right from the catalog. I case the catalog. Now I can't show you the design right now. It is on page 124 in the new catalog. So if you're wanting to look at that page, feel free. It's using the Tasteful Touches bundle. I forgot to bring the die in. There we go. The dies are right here. Kind of messy right now because I've been using them, but they have all these wonderful shapes here. The die that I used was this one here. So let me just put that to the side. And again, I saw what I wanted to do, but wasn't sure of the measurements. I could see the example in the catalog, so I didn't have to think up anything brand new. But the example was also done on a box, and I wanted to do it on a card. So I did the same thing. I brought in some scrap paper. I wanted my card, again, to go this way. This is likely going to be a Father's Day card. Then I brought in, okay, I lost my piece of paper. So page 124 is where I cased this from. I brought in a piece of paper that was about this size. Now the reason this is cut off, because I was experimenting. When I'm planning, I often cut my paper bigger than I might need it, and then I can always cut a piece off. And in the end, I decided I wanted to keep it the same size. I should turn that over so there's a little more contrast. There we go. You can even see I was experimenting with the intensity of the ink there too. So I went like that, and then I brought in my pieces, and because I knew these were going to be the pieces, I played with that a little bit. So now let me take you to the actual card. So I'll put those to the side. The paper I'm using is called In Good Taste, and it's a $29 packet, and that is because it's a double packet. You have double the amount of paper in it. And I've shown this to you before. I had to do 2 cards. So you've got they've taken pictures of bricks and tile and wood and all kinds of textury kind of things that you can use for a variety of things. So it also is part of the suite that this is in. So we'll just put that to the side here. And I'm going to bring in my card base, this one here. And then I've already glued this paper on, and I stamped it before I glued it on. Now I cut out the various pieces of the little banner. Now in the sample, they actually took this twine and separated it so you just had the misty moonlight. I decided that I liked it just fine like that. This is some new ribbon combo pack found in the catalog. Forever Greenery, I think it's called. Not totally sure. So you get the twine, you get this lovely soft linen-y kind of ribbon, and you get the gingham ribbon. So a beautiful ribbon combo. Do watch if you're thinking that all ribbons come with 10 yards. Often in the combos it's 5, so do watch the measurement. So I've planned everything out. I'm just copying directly from the catalog, and I got it this far, and then I thought I would stop. How did I put the openings in the little flags? I took this. Now I do my stamping on this side, and I've labeled it stamping only on this side. But I use this side for piercing. And I took my stamping, or take your pick tool, and I'm using the piercing end. And all I did was press down and wiggle it around a little bit and make 2 very fine openings. I didn't want the openings to be very big, and punches were going to be too big for what I wanted. Then, I've shown this before, but I can never show this enough. This saves me so much headache. These dental floss threaders, you find these in the toothpaste and toothbrush aisle. I use these as a giant needle. So I'm going to want to come down into here, down into this hole. So I just put the pokey part of that in the hole, thread this through the big loop. No matter what your eyes are like, you can get it through there, and then gently pull, and you've got it through. And like that just came undone. I don't worry about it, because I often like to start this to begin with, and then I just tuck this in, especially when I'm getting towards the end and it's short, and then I pull it through like that. I keep those. Anyone who's taken a class from me knows that those are one of the staples in my classroom. Now I'm going to arrange this, and this is going to just hang down about like that, I think. So I'll tie a knot in this end, but just this twine loves to fray, which I do want it to fray. I'm going to do that on purpose in a minute, but for tying purposes, I will get it tied now before it starts to fray. There, snip that off and that off. Okay, now I've got my basic card. Am I going to just stick this down, or do I want dimensionals under it? Don't let me forget to do the draw. I forgot. So I don't want to stick a dimensional and then change my mind. So I'm going to take one dimensional and just leave it on the paper like that and just put it underneath, and that's going to show me, ooh, I think I do like that. So now I know I want dimensionals on the back. So I'm just going to grab my dimensionals and put one on the back of each of the little flags. I learned doing that the hard way, trying to peel dimensionals off a finished product. It's not fun, so plus it saves you a dimensional if you decide you don't want it. So I'm going to, no, I don't want the dimensionals to stick ahead of time, because I do want them to have that kind of free falling. Okay, they're just resting, so I can still play with them. This one needs to be moved over just a smidge. There. Oh, he's down a little lower. Oh well, he's going to be down a little lower. If it was really bugging me, I could heat it with my heat tool if it wasn't going to pop off, and that would soften it up. So these, I think they do need to be attached. So I'm going to take a mini stamping glue dot. I'm going to just kind of roll it up because I don't want it to be so fat. And I'm going to put it down there and just put my string in it. Do the same with this one. Maybe I should put it on the back of the knot. It'd be easier to find the right placement. And there you have it, everyone. Look at that. There's my Father's Day card made, I think. All right. That's where I get another place where I get my ideas. From the catalog, I do my planning with scrap paper, and then I try to make it happen. And you always do fine-tuning afterwards. These are the two cards that I showed you today. And now let's take a little side trip here. I promised to share the swaps that I forgot to share last time. But before I do that, I also wanted to do the draw for all of you who shared last week, and thank you so, so much. It really, really helps my presence on Facebook to have you comment and share and all that kind of thing. So I am looking away and reaching in to see, and what we're drawing for is, this is a full package. It's been opened just so I could show people, but it's a full package of samplers of 6x6 paper. So this is what we're drawing for, and the winner is Judy W. So Judy, I will connect with you and make sure you get that. Put your name in there so I don't forget and lose it. And then some of the swaps that I've received, or I've received these cards in the mail. Now, one of the cards that we made last week was this one, if you recall, and I had meant to show you, this is another card made with the same paper, and on the back of that paper, on one of the sheets, are pictures that you can color. So this is a card that I made with that same paper, like that. This is a card I received as a swap from Lynn. Absolutely, I love how she's used this new paper, and this is that new bumblebee color, just beautiful. And then she's done this on the inside. I really liked that, and then she stamped her envelope as well, so very, very nice. This is from Karen G, and this is that new ornate die. And this is actually discarded pieces from here, and it looks just gorgeous like that. And then she's added the sequins and the subtle embossing folder there. This is by Sylvia, and great embossing folder, the brick and mortar one, and just gorgeous card there. This is from one of my downline, again, as Lynn is too, Mark, and this is, she's embossed this with the scripty, with the tin tile, and then I've got to haul that die out and use it again. I just love how she's done it. And then she's just put 2 knots of ribbon here. The ribbon doesn't go anywhere. It's just an accent piece. And I loved how she did that too. And then of course she's got a little stamp on the front. This one here, this was a stamp set. Oh, I'm blanking out on the name of it. But it came out in the holiday catalog, and it's been carried forward. It has some wonderful natural looking wildlife in it. This is done by Terry, and I love how she's used the vellum for a little banner in the back. And she's used stamps just to stamp the background. This card is also done with the same stamp set and the gorgeous birch embossing folder. This is a card that I received from Diana. I love the colors of this card. I know this is a favorite designer paper of hers, but look how she's picked up. The blue in the designer paper is barely there, but when you put it on the Pacific Point or Blueberry Bushel, I think this is Pacific Point, it just pops everything, and it just is gorgeous. So thank you, Diana. This one is a card I received from Rhonda. It's the beautiful lighthouse set. I just love that. And this paper is retiring, so only a day or so left to get this. This is from Carmen, and she's used the gears, which I just love. She's also done a background stamp with the birch bark. And she's done some other stamping here and vellum. She does vintage beautifully, Carmen does. And so she's got a little bit of all kinds of fun stuff. Beautiful card. This one I received from Tracy. Now Tracy and I watched the same video, obviously, and I showed you how to do this a while back, but I really like how she's got this all coming together and how she did that. This, Maryland, is a beautiful example of just taking a pre-made card base, taking a memories and more card, putting it on, putting a stamp on it, and you've got a card all ready to go. You could add embellishments if you wanted, but you've got a basic card all set to go. And this one, I saved it for the last. This was done by Judy. She's also a downline member. She did a COVID-19 card. So she's done it in a toilet paper roll shape. She's used an oval die to make it look like here. And this was the downloadable product that you could get from Stampin' Up, all to do with COVID-19. And this says, I'd totally share my toilet paper with you. We're in this together. So just a fun card. Look at the embossing folder she used. It actually looks like it could be on some of that better toilet paper there. So just some of the things. This was not a planned Facebook Live. I just wanted to pop in and say hi, share these 2 samples and how I came about finding them and creating them. So obviously I also case other people's designs, Pinterest. Even if I see an ad in a magazine, newspaper, on the TV, sometimes I'll go, oh, if I put a piece of paper that way, I know, a little silly, but it works just fine. So take care. Hope you share your design ideas with me. And thank you very much for tuning in. Bye-bye.